Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachah Kodash. Give honor to some other apostles of Green Millstone, and peace and salutation to the hopeful members of the elect, the Bechayim, the house of David, that's been preordained, predestined to get delivered in these last end times and to be the ruling, governing body of the nation, Yashala. Breaking news, massive Israeli airstrikes pummel Iran. War begins in Middle East. So I'm gonna play this video, and we're that much closer to World War III. Okay, so let's begin.
After an Israeli explosion had being targeted against targeting the top nuclear scientist. A large amount of video and picture evidence showing us mushroom clouds and explosions rising from Tehran after the Israelis' bombs made their marks.
Tehran is the capital in Iran.
Also, by the way, this footage right here is apparently showing us the targeted assassinations on top Iranian leadership. This was what was being done in downtown Tehran. Israel stated specifically they were targeting the top nuclear scientists and also top political and government leaders in their apartments in downtown Tehran. So that is what.
So Israel is sending airstrikes to the capital of Iran, Tehran, and they're also targeting nuclear power plant facilities. You see, they're saying how Iran is this much closer to creating nuclear weapons, and they've been saying this for years. But here they are again, Israel, using this excuse as a tactic to go ahead and evade, essentially.
We're seeing right here, this is specifically targeting the homes of those top leadership that we're seeing right here in this video.
It does appear that at this moment, every single airstrike that has been conducted inside of Tehran, according to the intelligence and information that we have, was targeted against residential buildings that were housing the top officials of the Iranian military at this moment. We have not been able to get an exact scope of whose government officials are being targeted directly and what governmental departments they fall under, as it could be that all of these attacks are being targeted against Iranian military commanders and staff, or we could see that this attack is attempting to target and destroy quite literally every single member of the Iranian government at its highest levels. We can see another clip here of a rising cloud of smoke after an Israeli explosion had been conducted on another high-level Iranian target within the city of Tehran.
Also, of course, after we're done with this video, I have some more breaking news that's coming out right now.
All right, so what do we got?
All right, so the breaking news we're hearing right now at this moment is apparently there is confirmation. Iran has launched a lot of missiles at Israel right now. It's not just simply a small volley. It is a very large volley of ballistic missiles, which have been confirmed to have been launched at Israeli territory. It's not clear how long it's going to take for them to reach it, but Iran has officially closed all of its airspace as of right this moment. The IDF confirmed detection of multiple launches originating from several different areas inside of Iran, and the top-level emergency security meetings are now underway in the capital city of Tehran inside of Iran to coordinate additional military responses against Israel. So it is a full tit-for-tat situation, and it is unfolding fast between the two. So that is confirmed.
And it does appear that just earlier, about 10 minutes ago, we were able to get video evidence confirming a launch of one ballistic missile from Western Iran, which we could see in this clip right here, although that's now being followed apparently by an even larger array of ballistic missiles being fired by Iran against the state of Israel. Based off of the last attack by the Iranians against the Israelis, if we were to assume that these ballistic missiles are of the same type, it most likely will take 25 to 30 minutes for these missiles to reach Israeli airspace on the other side of the Middle East. This would give the Israeli Air Force some reaction time to be able to try and intercept these missiles before they make it into Israeli airspace, and it may also allow for Jordanian air defense, which was involved in the defense of Israel during the last Iranian attack, to possibly open fire on the incoming ballistic missiles and attempt to shoot them down before they make them into the deeper Israeli air defense network based inside of Israel itself. We do understand that at least at this moment, the main priority or the main in-air interceptors that will be used by the Israelis will mostly to be the Arrow 2 exo-atmospheric ballistic missile interceptor, as well as some Patriots, although most of those have been retired at this point, along with the David Sling and the Iron Dome. It does appear that at this moment we will most likely not be seeing...
They won't be able to penetrate through that Iron Dome, which America, the USA, they built that for Israel. America funds, they give Israel weapons and intelligence. They practically subsidize Israel to the fullest extent. Okay? So let's get some scriptures. Because this is prophecy. Whether you people want to believe it or not, we are in biblical times. So, well, actually, that Ezekiel 38. Now, let me just say this. World War III will not happen until the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, that's mandated and implemented first, okay? And our apostles of GMS, Great Millstone, they've been saying this, okay? So, Ezekiel 38, verse 3. Oh, sorry, verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Let's talk about the land of Russia. The inhabitants today are so-called Russians, which are Edomites. Okay, this is not Japhetic people, even though once upon a time, yes, they did live there. They're not there anymore. Okay, it's as simple as that. So it says, and say thus, the Lord power, which his name is Yahweh, and his only begotten son is Yahushai. Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. In layman terms, your modern day weapons. Okay, horses, that can be modern day tanks and military SUVs, military aircrafts. Modern day sword is the gun. Okay, bucklers and shields. Your typical bodysuit, bulletproof suit, armor. Okay. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them all of them with shield and helmet. Persia was changed to Iran in 1935. You can fact check that. So these are the allies. So once you see Russia come in and step in, that's the tip of the iceberg. That will be a full-fledged World War III. All right, we're seeing the prelude, the foreshadowing, if you will, of World War III. Okay, it's very close. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togomar of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Okay, Turkey, that's going to Turkey. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, allies, and be thou a guard unto them. Right. Russia will be a guard unto these nations. And one of them was mentioned was what? Persia, Iran. Okay, so once they step in, full-fledged World War III. But again, the mark of the beast has to be mandated, the chip. And we already see that. It's already here. The technology is here. One of them, you can see one of the big corporations, the companies of Elon Musk, Neuralink, okay? And other companies that create these chips, these microchips, to be implanted into people. All right. I believe another one was called Synchron. That just got approved by the FDA. So let's get another scripture. Because how I mentioned about America, Slovakia. I mentioned America being allies with Israel. They subsidize Israel and give them weapons and intelligence, money for different corporations, etc. They will be dragged into this World War III, all right? It says right here in Jeremiah 50, verse 45. Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon in his purposes, that he hath purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock is Israel, the Amalekites. Those people in Israel you see today, they are Amalekites. They are not the true people of the Most High. They are Amalekites. They come out of the sea line of Esau, Edom, which makes them Edomites. And this is their kingdom. And they are imposters. They're not the true people of the Most High. They're not Israelites. The Israelites consist of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And also we have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So we're going to look like other nations. Okay? Because it's a bloodline. It's about your lineage through your father's side. Okay? The pedigree. And it says, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So the least of the flock is going to draw them out. Who out? America. So we're seeing the beginning stages of this, all right? We're definitely seeing the beginning stages of this. Who knows what might happen in the latter days from now? All right? I mean, like, a few days, maybe a week from now. This could die down. This could, either way, it's boiling, okay? But eventually, American troops will be sent out there. And best believe Trump will do a draft. I believe Trump is the last president, the last king of America, Babylon. Okay? And desolate with them, America's going to get nuked. Israel's going to get nuked. But America will never be inhabited again. All right? We will get our land, Israel, back. That has to be cleansed, though. This place will never be inhabited. It says, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved from what? The nuclear missiles. And the cry is heard among the nations. You know what, Revelation, the 18th chapter? It says, Revelation 18, verse, I'll start at 8 real quick. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. All right, and it says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her, and they shall see the smoke of her burning. Yeah, and this is going to be televised, most likely, definitely. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, America, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. You won't be able to prosper and make money off of America. It's going to be destroyed. All right? And it's going to be televised, all on social media. It's going to be, man, that great and dreadful day, once Yahushua returns, delivers the elect throughout the four corners of the earth, and America simultaneously is going to get nuked, okay? And who's going to come back? Yahushua, who looks like a so-called Negro, by the way. Yes, the image is important, because that image you see today of Jesus Christ, which that's not the true name, the letter J wasn't in the English alphabet in the it came in the 1600s, okay? We weren't speaking English 2,000 years ago. The Lord wasn't speaking English, all right? They were speaking Hebrew. The main languages was Hebrew, Latin, and Greek. But that image, that was a real man named Cesare Borgia, who Da Vinci painted him, and they used his image to portray our Lord. Totally false. Our Lord looks like a so-called black man, all right? If he was walking on the earth today, he would be labeled as an African American because he's from the tribe of Judah. That's what the Judites are, all right? So let's go back.
It does appear that at this moment, we will most likely not be seeing any air defense action coming directly from the state of Israel or by the Kingdom of Jordan, as at this moment, these ballistic missiles are still most likely about 2/3 of the way over Iraq and finally making their way towards the area of the Kingdom of Jordan.
Right, so let me read this. It says, massive Israeli airstrikes are hitting all across the capital, city of Tehran, right? And explosions have just been reported at Iran's nuclear facilities throughout the country. the state of Israel has declared that warlike actions have commenced with the purpose of destroying Iran's ability to wage war with nuclear arms, which the Iranians are incredibly close to seeing as a reality. Just earlier today, the IAEA has declared that Iran is in violation of nuclear protocols, limiting them to only peaceful atomic research and development. Iranian ballistic missiles are already being fired back at Israel in response. Yeah, Iran is not holding back, you know. What did it say? IA. I know how that has to do with Israel. Just want to see if that's the, okay, International Atomic Energy Agency. Okay, never mind. That has nothing to do with Israel, Slovakia. Okay, I'm glad I looked this up because they said the IAEA has declared that Iran is in violation of nuclear protocols, limiting them to only peaceful atomic research and development. So other nations can have, Edomite nations can have nuclear weapons, but Iran can't. You see the hypocrisy? Okay. So let's see what the see what they do, okay? The International Atomic Energy Agency is an intergovernmental organization that seeks to promote the peaceful use of nuclear energy and to inhibit its use for any military purpose, including nuclear weapons. It was established in 1957 as an autonomous international organization. Though governed by its own founding treaty, the IAEA statute, the organization reports to both the General Assembly and the Security Council of the United Nations and is headquartered at the UN office at Vienna, Austria. So Israel is attacking Iran because they're getting reports that high amounts of uranium is obviously being used, okay? They need uranium. I forgot the other element. I don't know if it's, I believe it's plutonium, but to create these missiles, okay? So they're doing this because they don't want Iran to have these nuclear missiles, all right? But they don't understand prophecy. They don't understand prophecy, all right? All this is going to blow up WW3, but before that, the microchip, the mark of the beast, okay? And Esau's kingdom is going to be destroyed, all right? And Yahushua is going to return and deliver the elect, all right? And we're going to rule forever on this earth, all right? So as you can see the map, this is where they're located. These are some of the headquarters, all right? Or the headquarters in Vienna, Austria, Geneva, Monaco. These are like offices, research centers, and laboratories. One in America, New York City, Lysion office, Toronto Regional Safeguard Office, all right? So that was it. So I had something else. Something else on here I want to get. Okay.
Jonathan, good evening. I do want to start with
launches more than 100 drones at Israel.
some breaking news. Israel's top military spokesperson just announced that Iran has launched 100 drones at Israel. It will take them a couple of hours to get here, and likely, as we have seen in the past, they could be coupled with some sort of missile fire. But this is the first part of what we expect to be a multi-pronged response.
I don't know why my thing's acting up. I hate that. But let me see if I can start this over again. Ridiculous.
From the Iranians following these Israeli strikes overnight. They came in waves targeting Iranian nuclear facilities, also top officials in Tehran, including nuclear scientists and the head of the IRGC.
I think he's acting up. I don't know why he's doing that. It's so weird. You just play. Slovakia.
Pronged response from the Iranians following these Israeli strikes overnight. They came in waves, targeting Iranian nuclear facilities, also top officials in Tehran, including nuclear scientists and the head of the IRGC. As we move forward here, we should look at the special instructions that have been given to Israeli civilians. Israel's Home Front Command, the arm of the military responsible for communicating with the civilian population, has told people to stay close to bomb shelters. Israel's prime minister says the instructions may last for longer than previous times during the more than 600-day war that Israel has been facing. And as we try to put this into context, the question now is not only A, how the Iranians are going to respond, but B, if this is going to drag out into a days or even weeks-long event. We heard tonight from President Trump speaking with Bret Baier, saying that he still hopes Iran will come back to the negotiating table, but everything is up in the air right now. And as we look at what happened tonight, these waves of Israeli strikes that targeted Iranian facilities, individuals, and missile production sites, it's a sign that Israel's not looking just to send a message to the Iranian regime, but truly trying to damage their nuclear facilities so that it would at least set back their nuclear program amid these conversations that have been taking place between the Americans and the Iranians. But again, the latest information that we have, Iran has launched 100 drones at Israel. According to Israel's top military spokesman, efforts are already underway to try and shoot them down. Jonathan?
And Trey, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu clearly indicating that this could go on for days, could go on for a couple of weeks. I wonder how your impressions are of how the Israeli people are responding to...
Okay. But things are escalating, definitely. We're in times of prophecy. So call Allah Yah Bashar Mashah. Okay. So with that, Shalom.